morning, friends. Myself, Dr. P.S. Vachani from DKV Arts and Science College, Jamnagar. Today, we will see the different types of magnetic materials depending on when one keep a magnetic material in an applied magnetic field H, how is the response of the material towards an applied magnetic field. So, the classification of magnetic properties or a material. So, depending on the response of material to magnetic field, there are 5 types of magnetic materials. The first one, the diamagnetism, that is shown by a diamagnetic materials which has a negative susceptibility. Second one, paramagnetism, that is shown by a paramagnetic material which shows a positive but a small susceptibility. Third one is ferromagnetism, that is shown by a ferromagnetic material which shows positive and large susceptibility. Fourth one is ferrimagnetism, that is shown by a ferrimagnetic materials. So here susceptibility is almost similar like ferromagnetism. The fifth one is antiferromagnetism, that is shown by antiferromagnetic materials that possess no susceptibility if that materials is a perfectly antiferromagnetic material. So the first type is the diamagnetic material. Mostly the atoms of this kind of materials do not possess a magnetic moments because all orbital shells are completely filled. So there are no unpaired electrons and thus no net magnetic moment. It has a negative susceptibility, means m by h value is negative. So what does it mean? A negative magnetization? Nope. It means it will oppose an applied magnetic field instead of let it pass through a diamagnetic material. Moreover, this susceptibility is temperature independent because it's an inherent property of all material. Few examples of diamagnetic materials are zinc, mercury, copper, silver, bismuth, wood, etc. So in this figure you can see that this is magnetization M and this is applied magnetic field H. So the slope is constant for a diamagnetic material. So the susceptibility is also constant with increase in applied magnetic field and the value is negative. So you can understand that a diamagnetic material possesses a negative susceptibility. So why a diamagnetic material opposes an applied magnetic field? And the answer is when any magnetic material is placed in a magnetic field, its atom acquire an induced magnetic moment pointing in a direction opposite to that of magnetic field. So this is why a diamagnetic material opposes an applied magnetic field. So in before slide I have mentioned that this is inherent property of all material. It means all kind of material actually opposes an applied magnetic field up to some extent. Then what about other types of magnetic material? Do they possess a diamagnetic property? Yes, of course, because it's an inherent property. But then why other materials show a positive susceptibility? Because a induced magnetic moment due to unpaired electrons, which is not available in the case of diamagnetic material, that is larger than induced magnetic moment in opposition direction due to inherency. Similar way, a coil of an electric motor opposes the current flowing through the coil, known as back EMF. Can you see any similarity between these two? Yes, both diamagnetic and back EMF are inherent property which opposes applied force up to a certain extent. In a lighter mode, this is applicable to human as well. If one forces other to do some work, first reaction will be opposing that work. Yeah, this reminds me about diamagnetism. Same things happens. But if force is larger, then it opposes, then ultimately that person has to do that work. So this reminds me about all other magnetic materials where the oppose is less than the applied force. So now the second type is the paramagnetic material. In this kind of material, some of atoms have net magnetic moment due to unpaired electrons in partially filled orbitals. So when placed in a magnetic field, materials gets magnetizations due to that unpaired electrons, hence results in positive susceptibility. Now what about the magnitude of the susceptibility? This magnitude is proportional to the interaction of individual magnetic moment with its neighbors. So if the interaction is small, magnitude of susceptibility is small. If the interaction is large, magnitude of susceptibility is large. In a paramagnetic substance, individual magnetic moment do not interact magnetically with its neighbors. So it possesses a small positive susceptibility. Moreover, susceptibility is temperature dependent, and this is true for all magnetic material except a diamagnetic material. The few known examples of paramagnetic materials are aluminum, tin, magnesium, etc. So now in this figure you can see in a paramagnetic material all individual spin magnetic moment of a single electrons are randomly oriented in different directions, and interaction is low, you already know. So only a small susceptibility is observed in this kind of material, because this all will cancel out each other. Only small part of magnetic moment will remain. So in this figure, here you can see that susceptibility is positive because this is the graph for a paramagnetic material. So the slope of this line is the susceptibility, that is m by h, but it has a very low magnitude, you can see here. So this is paramagnetic material. So now the third type, that is ferromagnetic material. In this kind of material, atoms or ions have net magnetic moment due to unpaired electrons in partially filled orbitals. Obviously, ferromagnetic material exhibit positive susceptibility because of unpaired electrons available in partial filled orbitals. In addition, individual magnetic moment do interact magnetically, and hence the magnitude of susceptibility is very large in the case of ferromagnetic material. That was not in the case of paramagnetic materials. So if you know an example of ferromagnetic materials are Fe iron, cobalt, nickel and their alloys. Ferromagnetic material possess two distinct characteristics. The first one is spontaneous magnetization. It means when applied magnetic field H is equal to 0, then also a ferromagnetic materials shows a magnetization, and this is because strong magnetic interaction between individual magnetic moment, so that it does not require an external field to orient spin of an individual electrons in a one direction. So due to strong interaction, every individual spin of a ferromagnetic materials try to align according to its neighbor spin, and hence magnetization without applied magnetic field will be observed in the case of ferromagnetic material. The second one is a magnetic ordering temperature known as a Curie temperature. Every ferromagnetic material show a ferromagnetic property below a certain temperature only. This is known as a Curie temperature, above which temperature induced thermal vibrations will not allow individual spin to interact magnetically. So material will exhibit only paramagnetic behavior above its Curie temperature. So now this figure schematically represents that in ferromagnetic substance, spins of individual strongly interact with neighbor spin and hence aligned in unidirection. Now this figure is also a schematic graph of magnetizations versus applied magnetic field H for a ferromagnetic materials. So one can see that is a net magnetizations when applied magnetic field H is equal to 0. So that is known as a spontaneous magnetization. Then as one increases applied magnetic field, magnetization also increases because of more and more spin will try to align, hence it results in increasing magnetization. Once all spins are aligned, the magnetizations will saturate because there are no more spin available to align. So the fourth type is a ferrimagnetic material. In this material, magnetic structure are composed of two magnetic sublattice, that is called A and B, separated by oxygen in common. Now the magnetic moment of A and B sublattices are opposite but not equal in magnitude, and hence results in net magnetic moment just like ferromagnetic material. In fact, except two uneven opposite lattice A and B, all other properties are same like a ferromagnetic material. In the case of ferrimagnetic material, one of the example of a ferrimagnetic material is magnetite, that is Fe3O4. Now in this schematic figure you can see that there are two sub lattice. This is suppose A, then this is B. So A and B sublattice both are aligned in opposite direction. One is this direction, second in this directions, but with a different magnitude. So some magnetic moment will remain. Both will not completely cancel out each other's magnetic moment. So ferrimagnetic material will possess all properties just like similar like ferromagnetic material. The fifth type is antiferromagnetic material. In this material also a magnetic structure are composed of two magnetic sublattice, that is called A and B, similar like ferrimagnetic material. The magnetic moment of two sublattices are also opposite in direction like a ferrimagnetic material, only the difference in its magnitude. Magnitude of magnetic moment is equal in antiferromagnetic material. So the magnetic moment of A sublattice and magnetic moment of B sublattice are equal and opposite, hence cancel out each other, results in zero net magnetization. One of the example of antiferromagnetic materials is hematite. The chemical structure is Fe2O3. So in this figure you can easily see the how they will cancel out. This is sublattice A and this is sublattice B. Magnitude are same and both are in opposite directions, those they will cancel out each other and so results in zero net magnetization. So this is all about classifications of magnetic materials on the basis of how your materials responds to an applied magnetic field. I hope you all enjoy this session. Thank you very much.